Hey y'all, and thank you so much for tuning into Respectfully with Miss Pretty Young Thing. I'm your girl PYT, and let's get into it. All right, y'all. So we just hit the latest episode of Baddies Midwest, and we're gonna go ahead and discuss it. Okay. I'm gonna beat my face. We're gonna talk it through. A lot of interesting parts of this episode, a lot of interesting fights of this episode, or lack thereof, slap boxing. I don't know what to call it. And a lot of emotional moments. This episode had a lot of storylines aligning, and it had a lot of lies unraveling a little bit. It had a little bit of everything. So it definitely was it was a good episode. I appreciated this episode. So that being said, let's go ahead and get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's get started on this hair respectfully. And while I do that, please do me a favor, like this video. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you felt about the episode. Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Subscribe to the channel. Let your friends know. Let a friend tell a friend to tell a friend. Y'all, before I finish saying what I'm saying while I'm saying it, this year makes a year. I said this year makes a year. Lord. This week makes a year since my first ever YouTube video. And we are fastly approaching 800 subscribers. So I definitely want to give a big thank you to each and every person that subscribed. Big thank you to everybody that has left a comment, anybody that has double tapped, anybody that has, did anything to contribute to, respectfully with Miss Pretty Young Thing. I really appreciate y'all. And let's turn up. If we want to give the exact day, Black Friday is the exact day that makes a year for me. I would have loved to have made it to 1,000 subscribers at my year mark, but it's all good. Growing slowly, slow and steady wins the race. We're gonna get there eventually, okay? Just keep watching, keep tuning in, and keep appreciating me, all right? So that being said, let's go ahead and jump right on in it. So the episode starts immediately with where we had left off, which was Biggie, DTV, and Tinkerbella being told that they are about to be staying behind at the Newbies house while the OGs are going to be going to the new house. So we gave our theories towards the end, in which saying why they chose who they chose. So of course Tinkerbella and DTV, they're the newest OGs, if you want to put it that way, because of course they were newbies last season, so they're like the most recent ones to be added. Both of them got their chains, DTB most recently, or whatever the case may be, so it makes sense for them to be staying at the house with the newbies so that they can, earn their stripes to the OG's house while simultaneously maintaining order. Now Biggie, I think that was a little disrespectful on Nat's end, but we already know Natalie don't really care for Biggie like that. We see that, we've experienced that, we've witnessed that. And then at the same token, Natalie also said that it is because she did not stand on business when she was called out outside. Now we get to find out later on in the episode what is going on with Biggie, which makes her the way that she is, but I have my fair share of opinion on that, but we're gonna save that for a second. So then from there, Natalie instantly is just like, all right guys, I have a surprise for y'all. Everyone, let's go outside. So we already knew from the previews what the surprise was. It is a new MTV Pimp My Ride Baddies tour bus. Remember the last one was all pink and pretty. I think that was what, Baddies South, if I'm not mistaken. And they ended up snatching that thing. I think that was the first season that Scotty with the Body was there. And the same one that Krishan was on, Krishan's season, when she threw that girl in the sink. Persuasion. So it was good to see them being able to do it again. Hopefully it's not with that same company, because baby, they left them high and dry. Now, this time around, they got the little baddie bus, or whatever the case may be. It's all black, decked out from the inside. It looks like a real life celebrity musical tour bus. Like, it really, really, really looked really good. Big shout out to Zeus over here, stretching them dollars, okay? So it's giving, this is the bus that the newbies are going to be riding on to get to each and every destination. And the girls are going to be going to the club in this as well. But when they're switching cities, I guess the OGs are going to be in the PJ, while the newbies are going to be riding, something like that. I guess that's how I understood it. So it was definitely decked out. It definitely looked amazing, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so then from there, they start to get ready to go to the club. All right, so you already know how that goes. They go one by one to all of the baddies, just, you know, watching them get ready. Blase, blase. They got their cute outfits on. Everybody getting their hair done. Now, let's go over to no other season but Summer. Okay, none other. Okay, one thing about Summer, I need her confidence in my life. Because, baby, you can't tell her nothing. Nothing. You can't tell her outfit nothing. You can't. Excuse me. Is you saying something? Because you can't tell her nothing, okay? Like, when I tell you she exudes a level of confidence that I wish to aspire to get to one day, because she slapped on this pink dress and she slapped it on with confidence, okay? Then we zoom into some of the other girls getting their hair done or whatever the case may be. I noticed, like, this is the first time that they actually zoom into them while they getting their stuff done, and they making direct eye contact with the camera. I prefer the getting ready, acting like the camera ain't there type of ish, because Pretty P, the lighting in Diamond's room, not feeling it. All of that. But either or, they start to get ready. Now, some of the ladies did not change. I was confused because it was just like, Scotty, why are you in that jersey? You didn't get ready. Why not? What's happening? It gives me, Scotty was in the back having conversations with Lemmy Pepper about the activities that took place before with her fight or whatnot, but it is what it is. But I noticed a couple ladies didn't change, and Scotty was the first one that I clocked. Okay. Then I did also end up clocking that, Big Ivory was not present. Okay, so Big Ivory ended up going to the hospital because of her lip situation. Now, during her fight with Big Lex, Ivory ended up getting her new, She ended up getting her new lip piercing pulled the hell out. Now, I feel like a little bit of that is karma, because remember, it was Ivory that was laughing all in Big Leg's face when she ended up effing with her nose piercing, acting as if she had knocked her in the nose hard enough to make her nose bleed. No, girl, you knocked her nose ring. So now, honestly, Big Lex is a better person than me, because I would have been running around the house like, I busted your lip bit, and just like really popping it and really working her nerves, because you already know this isn't going to be the last time that they squabble. So it's one of those things where it's just like, dang, like, y'all really could have been doing y'all big one when it came to this. Lex is definitely, like I said, a bigger person than me. So, of course, they on the bus, they having a good time or whatever the case may be. The ladies are, you know, ready for their first club experience, especially the new ladies. Over here thanking the OGs for accepting them into, you know, the Baddie Club. Big shout out to them. Baddie shot a clock and all that good stuff. So Jada and Alexis is extremely hype about being on the bus or whatever the case may be. So now, of course, Summer, being the type of person that she is, she's just hyped to be in Detroit, to be in her city, to be going out, you know, Detroit love, all that good stuff. And of course, Akbar, being the messy boots that she is, was just like, well, if you love Detroit so much, why you over here fighting a Detroit girl? Summer gave the right response, because the Detroit girl came for me, as she did. And it was in that moment that I realized Summer is not the problem. Everyone else is the problem. You know how it's one of those circumstances where sometimes you think that someone is the common denominator because of everything that is going around? But if you actually pay attention to what is happening here, Summer, yes, she is like in the circumstance of everything going on. But at the same token, when it comes to the breakdown of everything that is going on, she ain't starting with none of these girls. They're all starting with her. So it's one of those things where, like, is Summer really the problem? No. Because when it comes to the Anna situation, you can't really say that Summer started with Anna, because Summer was started with Mariah Lynn. And then Anna, in helping Mariah Lynn, came for Summer, which ignited their beef, or whatever the case may be. So Anna really can't get mad at that, or whatever the case may be. When it comes to Jasmine Renee started with her. When it comes to Ivory started with her. When it comes to all of the little girls in the house, every circumstance in which Summer was in with them, they started with her. Hello, clock it. And even in that circumstance, how that ended up playing out, it was Jada and Alexis that started with her, because everyone was having conversation with Summer and hyping her up, and because she was hyping them up as far as the OGs, and she was just like, I'm a real baddie, I'm ready for my chain. That's when the chains talk starts, or whatever the case may be. And Jada and Alexis was just like, oh, I'm a real baddie, you ain't ish, blase, blase, blase. And it's one of those things where it's just like, girl. Jada and Alexis, in conclusion, started it with Summer. And honestly, child, Summer is the breakout star. Summer is absolutely the breakout star when it comes to baddies. Because this girl be minding her own business. She be in her own delusional la-la land, thinking that she's the baddest girl out here, okay? They literally gave the wrong bitch money, in her words, okay? So it's one of those things where, like, you really can't be mad at the girl for being as confident as she is. Like, you can't be mad at nobody for, well, maybe Jocelyn, the way she was yelling at, not yelling, but coming at, Lexi Gold sideways for being confident. But I digress. You really can't be mad at her for being confident, because she has the level of confidence that all of us should have, respectfully. If you ain't that confident in yourself, if you don't think that yourself is beautiful, and you don't think you the baddest bee in the room when you hop into the room, then respectfully, she need to write a book, and y'all need to read it. Cause the heck, on her mama, okay? But either or, on the bus situation, Jada and Alexis was starting up with her. It was very, very, very childish. As childish as I'm gluing this wig down, because respectfully, I'm only gluing one side down. Fight me. So that ordeal is playing off. It's really annoying, to be honest, because like I said before, like Jada and Alexis, like, this girl is not bothering you at this point in time. Like, these girls are literally picking and choosing and making a problem out of Summer, and all Summer is doing is responding. Like, you can't blame her for responding when you're the one coming at her crazy in the first place. Like, make that make sense. Okay, so of course they're on the bus. Baddie shot a clock. They're teaching the newbies how to do Baddie shot a clock. Gotta say it 3 times, all that good stuff. Lo and behold, they make it to the club that they're going to be at. So they're in Detroit, of course. I forgot the name of the venue, but that place looked crazy. Even from the outside, like, the line was wrapped around. And one thing I can say about it is, when it comes to baddies, their crowds have been getting bigger every season. I feel like Baddies Caribbean was a terrible representation for the crowds that they really bring. But all in all, I feel like they really have been doing their big one. They really have. And big shout out to the ladies. Big shout out to Lemmy Pepper. Big shout out to them for really, like, putting on a show, really getting the girls going, really kind of sort of putting the young ladies on and all that stuff like that. Like, I can't take that away from Natalie. She really is doing her big one in these streets. So, of course, they're getting out of the bus. They getting ready, you know, to just stand on stage and drink in front of a crowd. It's crazy when I watch club appearances now, and it's just like, dang, like, I really was doing this. Like, what is happening? So, child, I'm 34 now. We not partaking as much as we used to. So, that being said, before they get into the club, lo and behold, you know this Summer City, you know, it's the city of Summerly Love. Child, it must have been opposite day because Summer's apps were in the building. They literally came straight for Summer. Like, they didn't even make it into the building yet. And Summer was already knocked to the ground type-ish by some haters that were in the building. It gave Summer was probably beefing with some girls prior. And they were coming for her during the event just because they were mad that she made it to Baddies and they didn't type-ish. That's what it was giving. Or maybe just a hater in general. Like somebody that was hating Summer from the crowd or whatever the case may be. But big shout out to Summer because she held her own. Big shout out to Zeus Guardians for having her back or whatever the case may be. I changed my mind. I'm gonna glue this whole thing down. And honestly, it was just craziness outside and it was crazy inside. You could tell that club was hot. So then after that scene, they end up finally making it into the club or whatever. Jada and Alexis ended up performing her songs, which I don't know none of them, but if you're a fan of Jada and Alexis, Lord, more power to you. Okay. So she did her thing. I think she got a song called Barbie and then some other song that the crowd was singing and whatnot. So that was the situation. And then they ended up playing my song. What's the word? What we doing? Look at the way that I'm moving. Of the Dom, Reposado. Hey, feeling like I hit the lotto. They ended up playing Biggie and Tasiki. Biggie brought all the energy. Tasiki did okay. You know, Tasiki did okay. I've said this before. I feel like Tasiki's voice is a little auto-tune-ish. Like they add to it. I need to hear her real voice. Like I need to see a studio session scene or something with her vocal coach scene. I need to see something for me to like truly believe that this is her voice. Right now it's not hitting it for me. They ended up doing Take a Bella as well as Diamond the Body song. They ended up trying the mess out of Diamond because they played the entire song without her verse. When I tell you, we're gonna call it a coincidence. Maybe they ended up, not Tinka, but maybe they ended up finding the track before DTB hopped on it. I don't know if it was a remix that she was on or what, but they played it without her part. So of course, DTB in true South Florida fashion snatches the mic and does the acapella, hello, like the true artiste that she is, of the song. So she does her voice. It's a baddie party. You are not invited. Okay. Talk your ish, queen. Rolly ends up doing her verse. Now, I'm not going to hold you. Rolly, I feel like she would make a great artist, but her confidence level is not there. Reason why I say that is because I barely remember, what is that on my nose? I barely remember her performance because she barely performed. She was more worried about the lady that was in front of her booing in the audience rather than being worried about the words that were coming out of her own mouth. Granted, the lady ended up getting kicked out, but it's still one of those situations where it's just like, girl, like, it's gonna be some haters. Like, you should know that by now. So for the fact that she don't know that by now, or is still carrying you know, I'm gonna need you to pull a Sean Paul. I don't really care what people say. I don't really watch what them why do. Don't give a dang what people think about you unless they're telling you the right things. If they're not pouring life into you, rebuke it. Period. Like, don't even pay it no attention. If it's not anything that is for you, it is against you. And respectfully, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And you over here letting all these weapons prosper. Why is my face so itchy? You letting all these weapons prosper, and I don't like that. You need to just woosah, take a chill pill. Don't pay these haters no attention, and just, you know, they want what you got. Okay, whether it be the new body, whether it be the image, whether it be the money, whether it be the fame, whatever it is that you're doing, it's giving jealousy. Okay, they are jealous of you. You're doing something right. Okay, so now they go back to the house. Okay, they go back to the house, and this little funky scene got on my nerves. Okay, because Natalie is Cap. I call Cap. Okay, not a lie, none of the truth. Not a lie, none of the truth. Okay, lied on Summer. Let me tell you how she lied on Summer. Summer never said that. You know how I know Summer never said that? When I say that, I'm referring to Summer, Natalie alleging that Summer had a private conversation, coincidence, private conversation with Natalie, saying that she wanted to snatch Tinkabella's chain. You know how I know she ain't say that? Because them words didn't come out of her mouth in front of cameras, 1. 2, Natalie was the only one to witness all of a sudden. 3, Summer has owned up to every single thing that she said it, and she put it on her mama. Everything that she says. Why all of a sudden would she stop owning up to her own words over Tinkerbella? Like, it's not adding up to me. Like, it wasn't making any sense from jump. So it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't believe what she's saying. And with everything that's happening, you could tell that it was just like a reach. Like, maybe the executive producers was just like, okay, we need some drama. Y'all had a good night. We need, you know, something to egg on the story, whatever the case may be. And Summer is low-key an easy victim because, you know, she gonna talk people to death in the circumstance. She's like Jayla Jr. when it comes to these speeches. She's just a little hyper, okay? And in that, it made her like an easy target or whatever the case may be. Tinkerbella ain't got no storyline. This makes her easy for her to want to be able to like eat it up or whatever the case may be. And then another reason why this doesn't make any sense is because Summer ain't had no problem with Tinkerbella. If out of everybody that she fought in the house and everybody that she had problems with in the house, the only one that had a chain that she had a problem with was Anna. So if there's anybody whose chain Summer would have wanted to snatch, it would have been Anna's. She already done snatched Mariah Lynn's. The next victim you would think is going to be Anna. So it's one of those things where it's just like that whole storyline was a scheme that Natalie set up. I said what I said because you can't convince me otherwise when it comes to this circumstance. Like, Summer did not say that. Summer was sat in a state of confusion the entire time that these ladies were speaking to her on this. Like, the entire time. Like, there was not one point in time where she was just like, okay, well, maybe I did say that. The whole time she was just like, yo, I didn't say that. Like, I don't remember saying that. Like, you know, she was drunk as a skunk, loose as a goose. Don't get her started or whatever the case may be. But you could tell she would have known. You know how sometimes when you lit, you're not too lit to know what's going on. And it gave that type of energy. Where Summer was just like, yeah, I was lit, but I remember what I said, and I know it myself enough to know that I wouldn't say no ish like that. Like, that's the type of energy that it gave. It gave Natalie, you're cooking up some ish to give Tinka a storyline. And Tink, you're kind of lame to believe it, because Tink was all in her face talking about oh, I better not hear you say it again. You didn't hear her say it. So what do you mean, I better not hear you say it again? Like, you didn't hear her say it. You're literally taking the word of Natalie. And, you know, in circumstances like this, like, it's not that she's not going to believe Natalie. She's going to believe Natalie. Of course she's going to believe Natalie. Why would Natalie lie to her? But in true actuality, like, yes, Natalie, it's a scheme that Natalie set up. Like, it's a whole scheme that Natalie set up. Like, there's nothing that can convince me otherwise. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that situation, because, like, on everything, I don't see Summer saying something like that and then denying it or copping a plea or whatever y'all want to consider it, because it's one of those things where Summer has been standing on business from the rooter to the tutor, since from the auditions all the way to the baddie house. So all of a sudden she would stop, you know. You could tell on top of that like, by the time Tinka came into the room in the middle of her Bad Dolly and Natalie sitting at the table discussing it, you could tell Summer ain't want no smoke and wasn't like about what Tinka was about, because she didn't stand up. The whole time that Tinka was standing up to her, she did not stand up. She already said she didn't want to fight. She already done fought 4 girls in the house already. Like, Tinka, I feel like Tinka should have saw it from like a motherly perspective rather than little girling her. And I didn't like that about this moment. Like, I really, really, really like Tinka. She has grown on me. If you watch my past recaps, you know it took some time for her to grow on me. You know? And a part of me feels like it probably took the end of her friendship with Meatball for me to respect her. But maybe it is because I ain't like Meatball. But whatever the case may be, I feel like this moment, you need to reprove yourself to me, because I ain't like it. I wasn't here for it. It wasn't cute. I wasn't impressed. Okay, I'm not going to use the word bully because they overuse that word. But the way you were little girling Summer, I was not impressed. I was not impressed. It was not cute. Like, Natalie over here getting the key out of the situation. Bad Dolly, I feel like now would have been a perfect time for you to, you know, help her stand up for her rights or whatever the case may be, because this little girl did not say that. And then Bad Dolly, you over here talking about something, you got her back or whatever the case may be. So if you got her back, if you hear her say she didn't say it, like, help her say it with her chest, because she said she didn't say it and she stood on business for everything with the Glorilla stomp, then why would this be any different? Like, I don't understand how they're not understanding the circumstance. Like, I believe Summer. Summer ain't say it. Team Summer. Let me know in the comments whether or not you're Team Summer or Team Tink when it comes to that circumstance. Because, respectfully, Natalie, you're a sneaky girl. I don't see Summer professing that to you. Okay? I don't see it. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a viable situation. It came out of thin air. Like, these girls were not beefing. Summer already got beef with half the girls in the house. Okay? She already got her back up against the wall. And Tink was not on her radar. And all of a sudden, she would put the target on her back over someone that she did not have on her radar, while she already got to watch her back on 4 other girls. Like, that don't make no sense. Like, the math isn't mathing. Summer is crazy, but she's not dumb. Like, you can tell she got some sort of sense to her. So let me know in the comments how you feel about that situation. So from there, Summer ends up being brought back down into the room by Bad Dolly. Bad Dolly basically tells her, I got her back. You need to come sit down. Let's talk about this, whatever the case may be. Because respectfully, Summer done got kapowed in the mouth. Okay, and her wig snatched. This is what, we're on wig number 4, right? We're on episode 5, wig number 4 for Summer. Nice little glued hair. I need them to start sewing bundles down. You could tell Scotty had a sew in the front, right here. when her last fight versus Homegirl, because that thing lifted back here, but that front, it don't move, okay? She did what she needed to do, baby. So, that being said, they end up sitting down. I understand from Teek's perspective why she spazzed the way she did, because if you recall, that chain meant everything to her last season. And she even lost a friend over it, which she did emphasize that, which I understand, you know. But it's a way that you go about things. And I feel like we're too old to let our emotions take the best of, take the best of us in that way. And if you're reacting in that way because of what happened last season, it's telling me that you still miss Meatball. It's telling me that, you know, your heartbreaking energy that you need to let go of. It's telling me that you need to pray, you need to go to church. I don't know. You need to do something because you're doing too much right now. Okay, I wasn't feeling the reaction. I'm glad that they were able to kind of sort of talk it through, figure it out, you know, baddie shot a clock, whatever you want to call it. And they ended up letting bygones be bygones. But as that situation played out, I 100% was not a fan. Okay? So then from there you get Emma and Big Lex talking outside or whatever the case may be. And it looks like Jade and Alexis ends up joining them on the conversation. So remember Jade. So I think Jade and Alexis wasn't there. No, she was there for the club situation. She just wasn't like privy to what was going on as far as the fights prior or whatever the case may be, or at least didn't have or want to formulate an opinion on what was going on before she heard their side of the story or whatever the case may be. So she ends up asking the girls like what their beef is with Jayla and Scotty, respectively. Which, big shout out to Jada and Alexis. She seeming like the only girl that got some sense so far this season, because they ended up breaking down their issues with them, or whatever the case may be. Big Lex basically like, oh, I feel like Jayla was a bully last season. She was just like, well, you wasn't a part of last season. Don't you want to give her a clean slate to, you know, figure out whether or not you like her? You might be good friends. Then same thing with the Scotty situation with Emma. Oh, Scotty was boring last season, so I feel like, you know, XYZ. Okay, well, you wasn't even here last season, so don't you think that you should give her a clean slate since this is your first time? Like, I feel like the common sense wasn't common sense with these girls. And it's one of those things where, like, I feel like there's certain way that you can, you know, bring things up, or even, you know, I don't know. I feel like they brought it up, or introduced themselves rather, in a fan type of way. Like, they said the things that we be thinking, but it's one of those things where, like, you're not a fan anymore, you're an equal. Kind of like how we felt about Saucy Santana being the host, that he was too much of a fan and wasn't as much of in his professional bag as he should have been, or whatever the case may be. He clocked everything that we wanted him to clock. But then at the same token, he was picking sides. There was favoritism and all that stuff like that. And I feel like their favoritism should have been out the window the second that they got a ticket, because it's one of those things where, like, this is your equal now. Like, kind of like, what's her name? Big Ivory. Big Ivory didn't have a problem with none of these girls. Whatever her opinion was before the show was her opinion before the show. By the time she got a ticket, that didn't matter, because guess what? Look at how she handled Jayla. We sitting at the same table now. We laughing together. And I feel like that's how they should have all handled that circumstance. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it. I didn't know anything about Jade and Alexis prior to this moment, but what it told me is that she is a grown woman. She ain't got time for the baby games. Okay, she got some common sense. She got a good head on her shoulders. I think it's hilarious when the internet calls her Stewie. But I love the fact that she embraces it. I think she got a song called Stewie, if I'm not mistaken. I went on her Instagram today just to see, you know, what was going on or whatever the case may be. Got to keep my ears to the streets just to, you know, do these reviews. And I think that it's super funny that she exit on, because she do got, Stewie-like features. She looked like a baby Griffin, respectfully. So then the ladies are sitting there having a conversation or whatever the case may be, and Scotty ends up joining in. So at this point in time, I'm not shocked, because we already knew it from the previews. But aside from that, like, Emma has officially given Scotty a storyline a little bit. And I don't like the fact that that is the situation, but I appreciate Scotty for calling it how she see it. Like, girl, you don't know me. You're literally looking at this from a fan perspective, rather than taking the time to get to know my personality, know what I got going on, or whatever the case may be. I'm pretty sure, Scotty's first season, she, seen Krishan on TV before. She had her own preconceived notions about all of these girls. I'm pretty sure before she knew Natalie Nunn in the Friendship Light, she seen Bad Girls Club and knew what time it was, whatever the case may be. So it's one of those things where it's just like, can't really judge a book by its cover, especially if you wasn't even in the book to the sequel. Okay, you're doing a little too much. So Emma's over here like pissed off, whatever the case may be, still huffing and puffing or whatever, and now she got a battery in her back about her wig being ripped or whatever the case may be, which is crazy, because until it was mentioned, she didn't give a singular F about that wig. All of a sudden, it's like, yeah, you did rip my wig. Sis, please. So she's over here trying to stand on her fake business of, you're boring, and I want to fight you because you ripped my wig. So you want to fight her because of the consequences of you wanting to fight her from the beginning. So basically, you got your own you got your own wig ripped because you was standing on business that wasn't yours, reporting live from another bitch's business in Jayla's voice. Now you're mad at the consequences of your actions, but now instead of being a woman and calling a spade, you're mad because your wig is ripped. Okay, respectfully, Scotty should have ripped this wig too, because it's one of those things where it's just like, girl, you're not making any sense. You're not making any sense. You're doing too much. Like, at this point in time, she's literally doing too much. You want to fight me because you think I'm boring. This storyline is going to get old on me so very, very quickly. And honestly, I feel like instead of it being pointed out on TV that she's boring, I'd rather see it play out before our very eyes. Because if I had to choose between a Scotty and a Quagmire, respectfully, I'm choosing Scotty 10 times over, because I'd rather watch Scotty, than Emma. Emma's giving paint dry, respectfully, because what would she be talking about if it wasn't for Scotty? If Scotty was a part of this season, you would not have a storyline. So is she really boring? Because if that's the case, then you're boring square, because you needed her boring and you're boring to combine forces in order for me to see how boring you truly are. Like, girl, let me know in the comments how you feel about that, because it's annoying. It really is extremely annoying. But basically, she's just like, you ripped my wig. I feel like I want to squabble again. Of course, Scotty ain't finna duck no fade, so she's just like, okay, so you want to fight me because I ripped your wig. So what's up? You want to fight me because I'm still boring to you, even though you still haven't gotten the opportunity to know me. So what's up? So, child, it was up and it was stuck, baby. So they do their little funky two-step or whatever the case may be. That was a very immature fight. It wasn't as immature as Jayla versus but we're gonna get into that later. Because that situation was extremely childish. Like, extremely childish. But either or, they're going back and forth. Quagmire screaming at the top of her lungs that you're boring and I want to replace you. We watched you for 5 seasons and blah, 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 blah. They stand up to do the squabble. Respectfully, Scotty is starting to do this thing where she is like kicking before she throws a punch. And that is going to take her out every time. Secondly, you a plumber, you are not slick over here changing these camera angles and getting these raggedy points of views during this fight that y'all gave us a preview of, thinking that we was going to see the full throttle situation. Thirdly, Scotty had to have lost for them to be giving us these ugly views, okay? Scotty had to have lost. Because if Scotty was in, first place bad bitch contest for this fight, they would have showed us every angle of it. Instead, we got ceiling, we got floor, we got zoom in, we got every angle except for the right angle. Like, you can't tell me that footage isn't there. But it's giving Lemmy probably got it in a safe somewhere, far away from everyone, including Johnisha. Because if I was her, I'd leak it, respectfully. I'd put it right on the Zeus Instagram page. But yeah, it gave Emma through the first hit, but it gave Scotty through the last one. Scotty still maintained her wig, which was clearly sewn in the front. Smart girl, smart girl. Emma lost hers. Who won that fight? Honestly, nobody, because I didn't get to see it, respectfully, but if I saw it, I predict that it was Emma in the running for it. But I'm still Team Scotty, whether or not she know how to fight or not, whether Emma's a better fighter or not, I'm still Team Scotty. So we go outside of the house, smoke session. I think it's Tasiki, Biggie. So then in the next scene, we have Biggie. We got House B, basically. Biggie, Tasiki, and Anna, and DTB is out there with them as well. Child, DTB better than me to be in any scene with Tasiki, but respectfully, we've learned that DTB is a better person than all of us for even coming back to Zeus with her tooth not there yet because of the infection, but that's neither here nor there. She's there, and they're discussing, everything as far as, Anna not getting no defense from Biggie, as far as Biggie saying that y'all don't be having my back, so what? I don't understand. As far as Anna saying, bitch, yes, I do. I do be having your back. And just the back and forth in that circumstance. And then in that situation, we realized a very important thing. Like, they barely spoke on it, but it was definitely mentioned during Baddies Caribbean airing, not filming, but airing, that Biggie's man had passed away. Okay, rest in peace to him. Honestly, Zeus ain't ish. Tasiki ain't ish. Anna ain't ish. Nobody ain't ish. And Biggie ain't ish. So let's go one by one. Anna ain't ish because she said in her confessional that she knew that Biggie was going through something. Why you ain't cut her no slack, my nigga? Like, what's happening? All of a sudden, your squabbles are her squabbles, even though she's having an internal squabble right now? Like, come on. Tasiki, you ain't ish because your favoritism in the friend circle is clearly swinging in Anna's direction. But I feel like some grace and some decorum should have been given by the time you realize that she was going through what she's going through. Like, I know you got your own life traumas, but Tasiki, dang. Like, by the time J.O. splacked her, you should have been the first thing smoking to that side of the room to tell her to back the F up when you see Biggie wasn't throwing no hits. Like, the reunion happened after her man died. So even then, she was not in a position to be fighting nobody. She wasn't in a position to be on Zeus. She was in no position for none of this. Who else? Lemmy, I'm pretty sure you knew. So I don't understand how Zeus network, production, company, whatever the case may be, was okay with letting this lady breathe with half a lung. Her heart ain't whole no more. And y'all got her on TV. No paid leave. No nothing. No interview episode where she talks about their relationship and properly grieves. No nothing. No, nothing. Y'all really don't give a dang about these girls. Y'all really don't care about what they going through. Like, no, nothing. No, nothing. They really didn't get a girl ish. Like, did y'all send flowers to his funeral, Zeus? No, nothing. Like, I was extremely disappointed to know that Anna was giving Biggie all of these problems this entire time, knowing this man died. Because, okay, he passed away, I think she said May. They probably filmed this, what? September? June, July, August, September. So, we went from spring/summer to summer/fall. We ain't even fully transitioned into the season yet. She's on a new season, still healing from the traumas that happened last season, plus the personal life happening or whatever the case may be. And all y'all did for her was a special episode with her and her family without even mentioning that little boy. And it's just like, I don't even know if he passed away by then or whatever the case may be, but all I know is, like, child, you would have thought her sisters would have had her back a little more, but y'all too worried about her having her own back and everything like that. And I don't like Anna's excuse either, because it's giving you don't know your sister well enough. Because Anna's excuse was literally, Biggie does a great job of hiding it, basically. It was just like, oh, she's just been working, so I thought she was fine. That's what people do when they grieve. They bury themselves in activities to make them not feel the pain. So it's one of those things where, like, you should have read the signs. You should have realized what was going on, like, while it was dead in your face. Like, I don't understand how they would have thought that just because she's, like, moving regularly that she was okay. Like, her moving regularly should have showed you that she's not okay. Like, you got her, she's moving on autopilot. That's not a good thing. It's kind of traumatizing for me even, because I remember when my dad had to bury his mother. Rest in peace to my grandmother. Okay? And he had to work. Okay? On top of that, he had to plan a funeral. Okay, the funeral was not happening in the United States. The funeral was happening in Haiti. So he had to fly to Haiti. Okay, he had to sell land. He had to take care of property. He had to move assets around. He had to do all this. He had to plan a funeral. He had to speak at the funeral. He had to take care of the burial. He had to make sure that she was plotted next to his father. Rest in peace to my grandfather. He came back to the United States, went back to work. He had a speech to do, or whatever the case may be, at the church. And my mother was with him. My mother was the only witness out of our family. Okay? He went, he did the speech. No, he didn't even do the speech. They called his name. He gets to the pulpit. He looks at his notes. He looks at my mom. And my mom immediately went to the pulpit. She's just like, are you good? And he's just like, how did I get here? And his whole mind was erased. When I tell you, I still remember to this day going to the ER. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. But going to the ER and witnessing my dad repeat things over and over again, trying to remember, okay, my name is this. I was born here. I have this many kids. My mother's name is this. My father's name is this. My father died at this age. I had an older daughter. She passed away at this age. Then he looks around the room. How did I get here? My name is this. I'm this. And he was literally trying to train his memory to know what the hell was going on. And that was how he, was trying to assimilate through his lack of memory, because his lack of sleep, because of his stress. And it's one of those things where, when you're moving on autopilot, that's not safe. I didn't expect to get emotional towards this, but honestly, it makes me understand where Biggie is coming from even more, because it's one of those things where, she should have took a season off, like I said before, and this should have been the season she took off. We said it. And I stand by it because it's one of those things where, like, baby girl, you need to grieve. You need to sit. Yes, you need your bag, but take a breath. Baddie is not going anywhere. They gonna be Baddies Mexico is coming. Baddies Canada is on the way. Baddies Mountain States. Baddies is gonna be there. You still have a job. You're not gonna get fired. I mean, if you ain't gonna fight the way they want you to fight, you might get fired. But regardless, I feel like Lemmy would understand if you did not sign the contract just for one season and told them, yo, give me a couple months and I'll do a pop-up. I'll be a celebrity guest. Okay? And I feel like something like that was necessary for this season so that she can get an opportunity to just breathe, to just be by herself, to just chill, to just watch the episode with her Teddy and just, you know, do her for a second. Like, she got a lot on her plate. I know she does real estate. I know she does her party planning and events or whatever the case may be. On top of the fact that she do Baddie, you know, the bag is wonderful, and you know, it's good, you know, that she's able to make for her family and whatever, send money back to the Dominican Republic or whatever she got going on or whatever the case may be. I can understand the burden being heavy or whatever the case may be, but God got you, baby girl. Like, please take a breath. Please take a breath. Please take a breath. And Tasiki, if I don't see you fighting on behalf of Biggie in any episode coming up, you're canceled, bitch. You're canceled. I said what I said. So respectfully, I am Team Biggie in this circumstance because these ladies was going at her crazy, knowing dang well what she going through. Yes, you want me to fight on your behalf, but bitch, Anna, I love you, but you are winning that fight. What you want Biggie to do against Summer? What you want Biggie to do against this girl, Bad Dolly, that you already told that you don't want to fight? Like, what do you want? You've been standing 10 toes down in all of your situations. So what exactly do you want Biggie to do? Okay? Like, what exactly do you want Biggie to do? The same way you're expecting Biggie to be Superwoman and everything, every case may be, Biggie probably looking at you the same way. Like, you got it, you can handle it, or whatever the case may be. And continuing to distract herself with her everyday circumstances because that's the only way that she's able to cope, because she clearly can't talk to you because you don't even realize that she's still grieving. Like, they made it seem like he died 15 years ago. The nigga just died. His corpse still got meat on the bones. Okay? So it's one of those things where it was like, dang, like, you want me to stand up for your battles, but you're not even recognized that I'm going through demons of my own. Like, it's giving House B is not House being the way House being should be House being. Respectfully. It's giving Anna, you were only friends with Biggie for some weed every now and again. Remember when they got in that argument in Dominican Republic over Anna not getting her own, Is giving Anna sees Biggie as a smoking buddy. And somebody that could possibly help her in squabbles that 7 times out of 10 she started. Because Bad Dolly only don't like her because of how Anna treated her. And respectfully, what's her name? Summer don't like her because of how she treated her. So it's one of those things where, like, these are people that are coming at you over what you did to them, okay? And you want her to, like, fight your battles for you. For what? Like, she got her own battles that she's going through. And I don't mean to, like, stretch this part out. But honestly, y'all, I feel like anybody that has lost somebody can understand where she's coming from. Or anybody that has, you know, been so stressed that they're moving on autopilot and they don't have an outlet or a person that they can properly vent to a point in time where they explode, because that's exactly what happened in this episode. Biggie came to a point in time where they forced her to open up about how she really feels. And that's when they realized that this girl is really going through some things. Like, it shouldn't have took this. Like, this is your sister. You met her mama. Y'all talk on a regular basis. Tasiki, you made a song with this girl. Like, y'all go way back to 2 seasons ago. So you would have thought, like, we grown to love y'all together as a unit. So it's one of those things where it's just like, I can understand Biggie saying, like, I don't give a fuck about the fighting on this show. I don't give a fuck about this season. Y'all can fire me if y'all want to. I have bigger fish to fry. I won't be surprised if, I know, you know, it was shown on Instagram during the course of the filming of this that they are sending girls home, that Natalie is sending OGs home and bringing, you know, the new and things of that nature. I don't think Biggie is one of the ones that are getting sent home, but it's giving Biggie don't give a damn whether or not she stays or leaves. And they over here talk about something, at least fight for yourself, fight for yourself. And it's just like, I'm fighting internally already, so I don't give a damn about this external ish. I don't give a dang about these little girls. She didn't give a dang about J.O. in that moment. She didn't give a dang about none of these girls. Because she got all of her own demons that she's fighting. And respectfully, I am praying for you, Biggie. Big Dominican. We love you, sweetie. And we are here for you. So in the middle of, you know, their kumbaya moment, Pretty P don't know how to read a room. Pretty P does not know how to read a room because all of a sudden she coming a diamond. All of a sudden it's a diamond. Before I even get to that, Biggie, it's your mouth that be getting you in trouble. Diamond was over here like, okay, well, you supposed to be having Anna's back the way that she has yours before Biggie, you know, had her outburst. And Biggie in her confessional, not to her face, her and Tasiki are famous for this. Biggie over here talking about something, oh, Diamond, well, unlike you, I don't think that it's cute to get beat down on TV. But you think it's cool for praise dancers to smack you at the reunion and for you to not retaliate? Huh? You think it's cool for these newbies to be calling you out outside and for you to not have any response for them? Like, I understand them when they say this is not the Biggie that they know. Because the Biggie that they know was squabbling up. The Biggie that they know was smacking Smiley. Taste buds out her mouth. The Biggie that they know was knocking Stunner Girl's head loose outside of what was that, Baddies South? Baddies West? I think it was Baddies West. Outside of the Baddies West house. That's the Biggie that they know. So, pardon their confusion when all of a sudden you're not standing up for yourself. Because to play devil's advocate on their behalf, Biggie, you started acting like this prior to his death. His death maybe like enticed it, enhanced it, you know, had you rethinking moments and realizing like none of this is worth it, which is understandable. But then at the same token, don't use his death as an excuse for all that you have been displaying when it comes to baddies. Let's not do that. I'm being sensitive as possible when I say that, but let's not do that. Okay. So let's work backwards now. Pretty P coming at my girl crazy. Respectfully, time and place. But of course, she don't know how to read a room. They over here having kumbaya. People got tears in their eyes and all. She's just like, oh, you snuck me. What's up? DTB, stay ready. Okay, mouth guard in the pocket. Girl, we got to get ready for the club, but I'll fight you tomorrow, though. We love a lady who books a squabble for a next day arrangement, okay? I will fight you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now is not the moment. We got bigger fish to fry, okay? We got bookings. We got money to make. Which, honestly, I don't blame her. Because it's one of those things where it's just like, girl, ain't nobody worried about you. Pretty P need to worry about why her eye looking real lazy. Okay. So now we got Rolly. We got Jayla. We got, who else we got? We got Big Gretch. I mean, not Big Gretch, Lord. We got Big Ivory. And we got, I think it's Big Legs, who are in the room, and they talking and they talking and they talking.
Bigger than me. I guess Lex got a problem with Jayla. I don't understand what that's about. Okay, this is what I don't get, and I'm gonna go get her because I feel like we all gonna have to talk about it. Because what I don't get, the best part, girl, she coming in trying to be a bully. You know, I don't like that. I'm just gonna have to talk with her. Well, you do what you do because I already told y'all yesterday I felt like she was in the wrong. And I mean, trying to do all that fight now. We already talked about it.
So then from there we pan into Jayla with Rolly, Auntie Akbar, and Big Ivory. I guess Big Ivory is back from the hospital with her lip, and they're discussing Big Legs. Basically, Jayla is saying how she ain't got no problem with Big Legs, but she over here calling her a bully, and saying that she was bullying people all last season, and that she's choosy with her fights or whatever the case may be. Now, let me know in the comments whether or not you feel like Jayla was a bully last season or in seasons past or whatever the case may be. I don't necessarily think so, because remember the first season that she came, wasn't that same season that she was team House A captain or whatever the case may be with Krishan and them? The first time that they had split houses and whatnot. Honestly, she was for the people. Jayla, they call her Jayla Luther King. Okay, Jayla X. Okay, Jayla Parks, if you may. Okay. So she was for the people. So for them to be calling her a bully is crazy. Now, I will say this. By the time she realized Biggie was not trying to fight, she could have just scaled back and just, been throwing shade throughout the season and calling it a day. And then when, Biggie was ready to own up to her words, then they could have a discussion or a squabble or whatever the case may be, wherever everything fell or whatever the case may be. But for the simple fact that Biggie wasn't about that life, it gave the impression as if she was doing too much. Kind of like how Bad Dolly keeps trying to poke on Anna. Same thing. So basically they're discussing that, and Auntie Ak is just like, well, she's not in the room. Let me go get her. Big shout out to people who want to discuss things when the person is actually in the room, because it'll never make sense why you can bring something up about a person when they're not there, but then have a problem saying it with your chest when they're right in your face. Because my mantra in life is, if I can say it behind your back, I can say it in your face, respectfully. With me, if I've said something behind your back, best believe I've probably already told you, or I'm letting somebody else know that I'm about to tell you. Okay, respectfully. So it is what it is. So they're discussing that or whatever the case may be. So then from there, Auntie Akbar, brings the basketball girl. First of all, Akbar is so disrespectful. Call this girl by her name. So she bring the basketball girl down, telling her that she feels like she's being a bully and a follower. Okay. And she was just like, well, who am I following? And she said that it's the blind leading the blind. Basically, that she's, coming at people sideways with her opinions of them and whatnot. Ooh. And basically that she is doing too much when it comes to everybody in the house. Everybody being, I guess, Jayla as well as Ivory. I guess. So then from there, they end up asking her, like, why she picking on Jayla, why she got an opinion on Jayla, and why she keep bringing up what she did last season. And she basically reiterated herself. She felt like she was picking on Biggie. She felt like she was picking on Gretch. To say she was picking on Gretch is a stretch. It's a stretch to say she was picking on Gretch. Reason being is because what Gretch did was definitely disrespectful in saying the N-word over and over again after 50 million black people, 50 million niggas told you to stop. And then she still say it to this day. So for you to say that is a bullying situation is too much. Okay? Because respectfully, I didn't watch Bad Girls Club, but I've heard that is how Jayla been Jayla Luther King when it comes to standing up for Negro rights, okay? And that is okay, because honestly, I had no problem with it, especially if somebody bit your chest. When are you going to stop bothering them? Like, girl, I feel like for the fact that Jayla did not bring that up was actually surprising. Like, girl, this right here, you want to say that I was bullying somebody when I got this right here? When I'm literally scarred for life? That girl had her swimming for her flippers at the reunion. Talk about she was being bullied. Where? Huh? Gretch was not being bullied. Gretch was standing on her Caucasian business, and Jayla was standing on nigga business. So for any black person to look at Jayla and say that she was bullying Gretch is wild to me. So basically, Rolly is just like, oh, okay, so you have your opinion, she has her opinion, so what we gonna do about it? They start the squabbling. Respectfully, it was giving round of applause. It was and not the good kind, because it was giving slap boxing. I seen on social media somebody compared it to SpongeBob versus Patrick squabble at the lockers episode of SpongeBob. It was just, for lack of better words, it was pathetic. It was a waste of time. It was disrespectful to my brain cells. It was everything that a fight shouldn't be. It was annoying. It was not the best display. And it's crazy because they both can fight, and they both displayed that they can fight, because they both were just like, but they both like swing like this. So they both were like not hitting nothing. They both have reach. And I feel like that's what the situation is. They both have reach. They both had the ability to do damage, but no damage was being done because they both moved the exact same way. They both probably both even right-handed. So it was given, they both doing this and it was doing nothing to each other. It was so the most underwhelming fight of the entire season. I don't even got to see the rest of the season to know that that's what it is. I feel like only one hit ended up connecting throughout that entire fight, and it's because Lex ended up getting gathered by security, and Jayla ended up throwing the last punch or whatever the case may be, and you kind of heard it, and that's what made Ivory say good job to her or whatever the case may be. But it was still like, it was still lame. It was still, in the words of Isaiah, it was still boo tomato tomato. Because it was just like, what is this? Like, remember back when we was in school and you knew a fight was going to happen? So you literally, like, when the bell ring, you run out to the area where the fight was planned. If I saw some ish like that, respectfully, I would have went my ass back to class. Like, child, no. I almost went to detention to watch this. Like, what? I almost missed part of my lunch to watch this. Like, it's first lunch right now. I could be in line getting my chocolate milks and my juices. Collected Jamaican patties from the patty lady. Like, but you got me here watching this squabble. Like, it was dumb. It was stupid. It was elderly. It was childish. It was everything negative. So if we had to say somebody won that fight, I would say security won that fight for putting us out of our misery and gathering the ladies up, because respectfully, no. So now from there, Auntie Akbar asked Basketball Girl how she feels now that they got their rocks off, or whatever the case may be, if that's what you want to call it. And she said she feel good. You know, she still stands on where she stands on. One thing I can say about these new girls, they all standing on business. No matter how raggedy the business is, no matter how much they need to go back to a 9-to-5, no matter how much overtime they need to put in to realize the error of their ways, they standing on the business that they came on. Ain't nobody switch up. Summer ain't switch up. Ivory ain't switch up. Lex ain't switch up. Quagmire ain't switch up. None of them switched up at all in how they feel about themselves, about each other, about anything. So I'll definitely say that this season, these new girls are 1000% standing on business. So then from there, Jayla's basically saying, I'm always going to stand on business when it comes to this, and I'm never dunking, don't smoke, or whatever the case may be, which is crazy because a lot of people are saying that Jayla did not give that energy towards Ivory, and that she was quick to shake a hand and whatever the case may be. And I would honestly, I agree. I would have respected Jayla more if she did the same handshaking type ish with Lex as she did Ivory, because then at least it would have given an even playing field, whatever case may be. So while she's saying that, Ivory sneaks Big Lex. So now this is where the episode ends, with Ivory versus Big Lex taking place. Now, remember in the round 1 of Ivory versus Big Lex, it was giving big victory in the hands of Big Lex. Now this time around, what we gonna do? What we gonna say? Because it's giving Big Lex literally is giving Ivory one for her money. I was looking forward to seeing Ivory swabbles because people kept saying how good she is or whatever the case may be. This time around, it's giving Ivory probably might have got the best of the situation. So we gonna see. Next, of course, you know, they're gonna have their little club appearances, whatever the case may be, little performances and whatnot. If you're looking forward to that, whatever the case may be, they end up doing some sort of a give back situation is what it looks like, which turns into Bad Dolly doing the absolute most, trying to fight Anna again. At this point in time, if there's anybody trying to be a bully, it's definitely Bad Dolly, because why are you in Anna's face? So I don't blame Tasiki for losing her cool and just being like, yo, don't push her. Because respectfully, you're doing the absolute most. Tasiki is going to fight this girl, and I can't wait. And it's looking like Pretty P is going to end up catching her wands with DTB, and somebody else is going to end up catching a fade with Pretty P too. I think it's Bad Dolly. And Bad Dolly is going to be fighting her. And honestly, I'm excited for next week, because next week, the squabbles will be squabbling next week. Everyone will be in place. Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is for the baddies and they fun to squabble. Okay? It's going to be lit. It's going to be lit. It's going to be lit. Let me know in the comments how you felt about today's episode. Well, yesterday's episode. Let me know in the comment how you felt about all of the fights, how they partook, or whatever the case may be. Let me know who you feel like won the fights. Let me know how you feel about the newbies, which newbie like you take the side of when it comes to all of these altercations, how you feel about Summer. Do you feel like she is the breakout star? Respectfully, Summer reminds me of Sexy Red, like as far as her attitude, as far as her mantra, as far as how she carries herself in that I don't give a dang type of way. And I find it very, very ironic that in my same thought process of thinking that is the same time that she had posted her on her page with the video of her saying they gave a wrong bitch money, because she definitely gave Sexy Red in that scene, and she definitely gives Sexy Red in this show. as far as being that ghetto girl that done came up or whatever the case may be. Let me know how you feel about that. Emma is corny for, you know, whatever the case may be, because it's one thing to say how you feel about Scotty, but it's another thing to say that you want to fight her for it. Like, I feel like to make that her storyline is mad corny. It's really corny because it's one of those things where it's just like, girl, she's gonna be there regardless. Scotty is not going anywhere. The only way Scotty could go somewhere is if Johnisha marry Lemmy. They live a monogamous, happily ever after. That's the only way that I can see it. Will that happen? Probably not, because their circumstance is whatever their circumstance is. And I don't see Lemmy Pepper settling, respectfully. And respectfully, Johnisha is happy in their situationship. She's still getting cars. She's still getting wine and dine. She's still looking good on red carpet. She don't need nothing for that man that'll make her feel secure in their situation, because she got a car delivered to her office. Okay, with 0 miles on it, matte black with red interior. Like, child, why marry him if these are the benefits with being in a situationship? Okay, child. But that situation ain't for the weak, respectfully. And I guess I'm weak because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I don't know. Let me know how you feel about this episode, though, because I digress. Let me know how you feel about the Biggie situation. I know I got a little emotional, but respectfully, I understand where she's coming from. I understand where Anna's coming from, but respectfully, I'm Team Biggie. When it comes to the situation, let me know what team you are on when it comes to their situation. Now, as far as next week's episode, I am looking forward to seeing Bad Dolly versus Tasiki. What else? I am looking forward to seeing another round of Ivory versus Big Lex. It looked like Big Lex is holding in there with Ivory, baby. I am looking forward to everything that is to come. As far as this episode today, I probably would rate this episode, I'll give it a strong 8. I'll give it an 8 because I feel like the storyline with Tinkerbella was doing too much. Summer did not say that she wanted to take your chain. Natalie giving that donating a storyline to Tinkerbella was really corny, because I feel like Tinkerbella has personality and she would have been able to do that for herself. Like, there was no reason for them to like use Summer to try to give Tink a moment. Like, I wasn't digging that. Respectfully. Not respectfully. I was not feeling that, like, whatsoever. What else? I feel like there was a lot of moving pieces to this episode. It gave what it was supposed to give. As far as the most valuable baddie of the episode, I would say Big Lex, but respectfully, that fight against Jayla took away that crown for her, because it was just like, like, she had a lot of camera time for the episode, but unfortunately that squabble wasn't squabbling, so it is what it is when it comes to that. Who the heck was the, y'all let me know who y'all most valuable baddie of the episode is. For me, I will say this: Jada and Alexis got a good head on her shoulders. Blueface, child, you got a smart baby mama. I know them kids got some high IQs, because though she got 2 of his kids, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe one of them and the other one is with another baby daddy. I don't know. All I know is she got some smart. I hope that they got mommy's brain, because she has common sense, you know, in that big stewy head of hers. What else? Dang. Most valuable baddie. It's giving Summer 3 episodes in a row. I don't know. I really can't give it to Summer because she wasn't like the captain of the ship, how she was for every, scene or whatever the case may be. And I'm tired of her wigs flying off. I don't know. This episode had a lot of moving pieces. I'm really gonna have to think about who is the MVP or whatever the case may be. But in the meantime, like I said, y'all answer those questions below. Let me know how you felt about this episode. Let me know what y'all rated on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm still trying to figure out what I rated on a scale of 1 to 10. But all in all, what I've learned in this circumstance, Anna and Biggie are not as close as we thought they were. Because Anna should have known her well enough to know that Biggie was trying to cope by digging into her work and trying to distract herself from a meltdown. And we bear witness to that, okay? And what else did we learn today? We learned that Natalie's a liar, not a lie. Okay, not a lie. Okay, because Summer did not do that. Let me know in the comments whether or not you feel like Summer did it or if it's a scheme that Natalie set up. Okay. What else? We learned today that Scotty continues to be Lemmy's favorite. Continues front and center. Okay. What else did we learn today? We learned that Jayla and Big Lex are each other's spirit animal when it comes to squabbling. Okay, they're literally each other's spirit animal. They fight just alike. They look just alike when it comes to how they throw their hits and whatnot. It's giving twin, where have you been? All right, get into it. It was a great episode altogether. But like I said, if I had to give a award to anybody, honestly, it just might be Summer again. And second place is probably going to be DTB because of her performance and being able to kill that acapella. Okay, because a baddie knows how to adjust no matter what the hell is going on. Another funny scene that I forgot to mention earlier is the club was shutting down. So I guess this club closes. I know majority of cities, I'm from Miami, so party don't start till 6 in the morning, respectfully. But majority of these cities, the clubs be in it early or whatever the case may be. And that was the case for the club that they were at in Detroit or whatever the case may be. And Natalie was just like, we gonna leave this bitch open. How long can we leave it open if I pay you $100,000? Put your pussy lips on live, I'll give you $1,000. And that fine club owner was just like, I got on $250,000. $100,000 ain't nothing. Did I hear you correct? Sir, nice to meet you. My name is Miss Pretty Young Thing. Because, baby, that is some money for you to be saying that. That ain't ish. Like, sir, how much are you making? You over here. Okay, James St. Patrick, how much money is Truth making you over here, okay? Let me find out you got a drug underworld going on here for you to think $100,000 ain't nothing. That thing took my breath away when he said that, because I was just like, whoa, you are balling. If that's the case, okay. But all in all, yes, let me know how you felt about the episode. Let me know who your most valuable baddie is. Let me know how you feeling about all of the new girls. Let me know how you feeling about how the OGs are acclimating to said new girls. Let me know how you feel about Biggie and, you know, her mental state. And, you know, do you feel like she should have took the season off the same way I do? Yeah, and all that good stuff. Let me know. Y'all, I look good. I just wanted to dress up really quick, just to do something cutesy, something very demure. I used the eye palette that I brought with me to Puerto Rico, just a simple drugstore eye palette, to be honest, with the pinks and the glitters and stuff like that. The lip is Christian Dior though. Get into it. The liner, I believe, was a Sephora liner. Yeah. I didn't put on any foundation. I've been doing this thing lately. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I only put on concealer to do this look. There is not a drop of foundation on my face. I've been getting better with taking care of my skin and getting myself to a point in time where I don't want to do too much when it comes to my makeup, just enough to emphasize my natural beauty. Let me know how you feel about this look. Let me know how you feel about the episode. And of course, please do not forget, subscribe, y'all. Subscribe. Can we get to 800 subscribers, please? I think we're 11 subscribers away. I would love to hit that 800 mark. Please tell a friend, share this video, leave your comments down below, drop some cartwheels in the comments if you are feeling respectfully brand, okay? And let me know how you feel about this episode. Let me know what other shows that I can cover. And stay tuned for my next episode, which will be covering Jocelyn's Cabaret. Thank you so much for watching PYT TV. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Respectfully.